I did not cry, then you still love me. If I didn't have my nut coverage, you still love me. Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. Keep it at a whole 100, don't got you, I got nothing. Ayy, I got something. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. We gon' function. That's my song, bro. Go listen to that song. It's called Love by Kendrick Lamar, featuring Zara. I think that's how you say her name. You know, Kendrick Lamar and my birthday twin, so you know I gotta represent. Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. Look, y'all, as y'all can see, I was studying today. You know, consumer law, you know, because we need to learn this. But that's what we reading today. I'm about to read basic economics because we need to learn the economy, you feel me? Give me like give me like a couple minutes for me to get situated real quick. You know, it's a good day. It's a good day. Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. Keep it a whole 100, don't got you, I got nothing. Hey, I got something. Hold up. We gon' function, no assumption. Feeling like Lysol with it. I don't think he said that, but hit that shoulder lean. All money come in, all money go in, there's still no drop. If y'all on these lives, make sure y'all liking it, man. That's all I ask for y'all to do. Is like it, share it, and take something from it. Make sure y'all tap into all my last lives. You feel me? We just completed the Millionaire Next Door book. Feel me? So like, go make sure y'all tap into that, cause education, knowledge, experience, all that shit is important. We need some knowledge, bro. We still walking around with the shit they taught us years ago. Like, nigga, we need to change the way we think. If we keep thinking the same way, we're gonna be in the same position 5 years from now. And that's something that I don't want to go through. In the next 5 years, I don't want to be where I want to be where I imagine to be. You feel me? And I don't want to, you feel me, continue to say to myself, I don't know where to start, because I'm gonna keep saying that each week. You feel me? If I don't just start, you know, rather than just starting. You feel me? We always say I don't know where to start. You feel me? But with that right there, you're gonna continue to ask that. You're gonna look up 5 years ago, you still ain't started. You feel me? So it's like it's the little shit. I'm supposed to be documenting my expenses. That dog only got one leg. That's crazy. Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. Keep it a whole 100. I might be in bed early tonight, y'all. For real. Ain't nobody doing what I'm doing on my YouTube, man. Give me like two more minutes. Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. Y'all know when that light come off and that reading light come on, game time. Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to. This motherfucking charger charged fast. You know, people watching the game today. But I'm not a football player. Like, I'm a football player. I'm not like, I'm a sports type of guy, but like, I like to play it instead of watching it. Like, I don't even fuck with all that shit. Football don't pay me. I don't give a fuck about no entertainment. You hear me? But y'all, as y'all can see, this is what we're reading this month. These type of like pages make it hard to read because like this, I don't know, it's just got like a odor, not like a bad odor, but like a like pages. You know how pages smell. It's hard to read around them. so much, damn, so much knowledge, man. All right, we about to read Basic Economics, a common sense guide to the economy. And like I said, it's very important that we understand our economy, especially if you desire to be in the to especially if you desire to own a business. You got to understand the business cycles. You got to understand the market. You got to understand the things in order for you to operate um, an effective business. And so economics is key, like macro trends. Wait, not macro trends. Yeah, macro trends, macroeconomics, um, micro. Think, hold up. And I know one day I'm gonna be that nigga. I know. I love economics, bro. I'm in love with it. Let me make sure. So we gotta, yeah, like I said, we gotta learn about supply and demand, consumer behavior, price demand, uh, GDP. We gotta understand all of that. You feel me? We gotta know what scarcity is. We gotta, like I said, we gotta learn microeconomics and macro. You feel me? We gotta learn all of it. We gotta learn trade offs, and opportunity costs, margin a lot. We gotta learn a lot. And like I said yesterday, it's like that's like you being in the house and you don't know where the bedrooms are. So it's like you in this world, but you don't know how to operate. Like that's very like we rather we rather consume information that doesn't benefit us. You feel me? And part of it is not our fault because of the world we lived in, but like if you have the will to change your circumstances, you feel me? You can change it. That's if you desire to change it. If you don't have a desire to change anything, you're not gonna change. You feel me? And you got people around you that be like, I'm gonna always be like this. Them the type of people that you don't want to be around. You feel me? But I was saying this to myself the other day. Like I'm very blessed to have all the people in my life, whether they wasn't beneficial to me or whether they was because they they showed me they showed me things of what not to do or what not to be, if that makes sense. Like they're examples of what to be and what not to be and what to do and what not to do. That's why I'm blessed to have had people in the past and the present and the future that's coming. I'm welcoming all people experiences because some people will teach you, things that you should do and not do. Like, you will see somebody that reacts in a manner that doesn't, that have you like, what's wrong with him? Like, but you just question like why he do what he do, why he loves to do this and this and this. And you got some people that moves genuine, that has a sweet soul, that's that move with integrity, that moves intentionally, that's very confident. These type of benefits. I mean characteristics. So it's always good. we always ask God to remove people from our life, but it's like sometimes, these people are in your life to show you what to do and what not to do. So I say just let them be in your life, and then when it's time for them to leave, that's when they will leave. But like, don't rush, don't rush them out of your life. So that's why I said it's important to let people stay, whether you don't like it or not, because shit, it's all beneficial. It's all for your greatest good. So let them stay. Get them a bed and everything. Get them a toothbrush because they're gonna be staying for a while. Because they're gonna be teaching you something about yourself. So let's get into this book. So we're gonna read we're gonna read 1 through 4 today. So this is what we're about to read. And I'm gonna break it down so y'all can understand it. It's the first chapter. What is economics? A lot of people don't even know what economics is. They don't teach it in school, but hey, we're gonna teach it here. Like I said, we need to learn this. That's like if you in the crib and you just bought it, but you don't know where the room's at. Why would you get into it? You feel me? It's that type of thing. And after this, I think I'm going to bed early. But like I said, y'all, just let people stay. Like I said, they just showing you, and you know the saying, your friends is just a reflection of you. You feel me? So you might have friends that you don't even want to listen to their advice, but it's the human, like not the human, but like most people don't like how people say things, so that's why they don't do what they say. But you still gotta take the advice. You feel me? And you're not supposed to take advice from everybody. I would say you definitely shouldn't take advice from everybody, but you should definitely use what they told you constructively. You feel me? You will know if it's beneficial or not. Some people just be talking half of the time. But we about to get into this. You already know how this go. Just make sure y'all share this. You feel me? Because my intentions is to educate y'all, inspire y'all, and to give y'all guidance on, all these books that I've read. Because all these books I read gave me, you know, um, tools. They gave me tools to use. So when I encounter things mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, I can refer to the books because these books are nothing but wisdom. The books that the authors wrote, you know, that they're just writing their experiences in books. Cause we're all gonna encounter the same thing, but it's about two things can happen to the same people. One can benefit from it, and one can go back from it, meaning like not benefit from it. You feel me? But that's why I read, cause like it gives me insight on things and on how to move correctly. You know, like I said, these books are nothing really but experiences and wisdom that these people went through. Like I said, we're gonna go through the same shit. So it's like, why not read and understand how they maneuver through it or how they built off of the adversity and shit. You feel me? And like the book we about to read now is economics. Why not learn about how your world operates? We all work for money. Why not learn how money operates and how money works and how we should use money actually? Cause we use money to just spend it. Like now that my mind is like where it's at now, it's like none of that shit that we idolize and fight for. It's like that don't even mean nothing to me. I don't give it meaning no more. So it's like I'm not letting that define me. I'm defining my own success. You feel me? And I used to confuse myself with like, what does success mean? But it came to me and it said like, you define your success. What is success to you? It's not about what they think success is. This person can think success is this, having all the luxury shit. That might be success to them, but my success is not that. Like, you define your own success. You define your own love, your own happiness. You define it. I remember, you know, my thoughts just confused on like what are these things, but it's up to me to define these things instead of letting these things define me. So now what I'm doing is taking initiative to define what I think is real or what I believe, because it's all about me. You feel me? And you definitely gotta be there, but you definitely gotta be there for yourself before anybody can be there for you. Like that goes to say like you definitely gotta love yourself first and then, you know, let others love you. Because you can't love somebody else and don't love yourself. Like that's fake love to me. That's fake love to me though. You see how I said to me. It might not be fake love to you, but to me that's how I define it. Because it's like why are you giving something you don't have? Why are you feel me? It's like if you want to believe in yourself, you got to believe in yourself before other people can believe in you. Because this person could believe in you, but his belief can only go to an extent. His belief can't get in you. You can only bring the belief out of you, right? So it's up to you. You feel me? It's all up to you. It all starts with you. It all starts with me. Another person could think for me, but I gotta think for myself. I gotta act on what I thought. You feel me? So enough of the little TED talk. Let's get into it. So we talking about what is economics. So y'all like, what is economics? Like, what is that? So we about to read. Make sure y'all tap in, y'all liking this, y'all sharing this, y'all doing whatever y'all gotta do to get these videos, these live streams out. I'm done. All right, it says, what is economics, right? What is economics? It says whether one is a conservative or a radical or protectionist or a free trader, a cosmopolitan or a nationalist, a churchman or a heathen. It is useful to know the causes and consequences of economic phenomena. It says economic events often make headlines in its newspapers or breaking news on television. Yet, it is not always clear from these news stories what caused these particular events, much less what future consequences could be expected. I think that's important, so I'm gonna underline that. And I'm gonna let y'all know what I underline, because that's facts. I'm gonna read it again. It say economic events often make headlines in newspapers, right? Or breaking news on television. You always see economic events happen on the news, on newspapers, on social media. You always see it. But it say yet it is not always clear from these news stories what caused these events. You don't never see the news say, "Oh well, this economic event happened, but here's what caused it." We don't see what caused it. We just see you know how they say, you know how they say, so when when you go through your breakthrough and you finally see results of what you've been working on for 5, 10 years, you know how they say you know how people only see the result, but they don't see the back end of the work you had to do, the sleepless nights, the frustration, the confusion, the inadequate things that you didn't have to start this thing and all this thing. You didn't see the behind the curtains, but you only seen the results. So what they saying is we only see it on newspapers or headlines, but yet there's never clear stories on what caused it, right? It say the underlying principles involved in most economic events are usually not very complicated in themselves, but the political and economic Jargon in which they are discussed can make these events seem murky. Yet these basic economic principles that would clarify what is happening may remain unknown to most of the public and little understood by many in the media. So basically what it's saying, like, I'm gonna read it. Because we need to understand what he just said. Because a lot of people think economics is confusing, but the people made it confusing. But they made it so confusing that we don't even want to learn it. You feel me? So we gotta understand what is economics, right? We have to learn it. You feel me? Because I know everybody don't want to work for the rest of their life. They want to, of course, start their own business, start their own company. You gotta learn what economics is. You feel me? That's like you driving a car and and it breaks down. You gotta know what caused it, right? So I'm gonna reread this. I gotta figure out this word because I don't know this word. I know it, but like I don't know how to pronounce it. But remember what I said, when y'all don't know a word, like write it down in the back of the book so you can expand your vocab. Cause you got a lot of people that be like, how you don't know this word? Instead of saying that, can you help me know the word, right? Rhetoric. I think it's rhetoric. Rhetoric. Oh, my fucking lips is skin peeling. Yeah. Rhetoric or rhetoric. One of the two, but we about to see. Rhetoric. Rhetoric. All right, so now we know what that means. So what I do is go on the back of an empty page and write down rhetoric. Rhetoric. The art of effective or persuasional speaking or writing. Damn. That little shit. Damn. Bro. I might just put this there. Rhetoric. Expression. That's what it means. All right, so now we know what rhetoric means. It means expression. I don't know this word either. Because this is what we got to do, bro. Like, we don't need to rush and read the book. Like, why? If you really want to understand something, you got to take your time and make sure you understand every word it's saying, because that one word is going to change the whole sentence. You got to know every single word.
Come on. Jargon.
Jargon. Like, if you read and you know that that one word can change the whole sentence. So that's why I take my time out today and to understand what these words mean so I can A, enhance my vocab, and B, understand what it's trying to say. Jargon, special words. So jargon means special words or expressions that are used by a particular profession or group. So it means slang. So jargon means slang. I never heard that word. Jargon. And then one last word is murky. Murky. I never heard that word either. But guess what? I know these words now. You can't say I don't know these words. Murky. Murky means dark, gloomy. You feel me? Alright, let's reread what we just read because that was important. It says the underlying principles involved in most economic events are usually not very complicated in themselves. See, the underlying principles involved in most economic events are usually not very complicated in themselves. So he's saying like each event that happens is not complicated to, you know, understand. It says, but the politicians, no, it says, but the political rhetoric and economic jargon in which they are discussed can make these events seem murky. You see what he said? You see what he said? So it says, but the political rhetoric, what does rhetoric mean again? Expression. It says, but the political expression and economic jargon, what does jargon mean? Slang. It says, but the political expression and economic slang in which they are discussed can make these events seem murky. Murky means dark, gloomy. See, that makes so much sense. See, these words will trick your ass, bro. So he's basically saying, like, economic events, it says, so basically he's saying economic events aren't usually confusing, but the political and economic people make it seem hard and make it seem confusing, and they use certain slangs to make it seem like it's more than what it is, right? It says, but the political rhetoric and economic jargon in which they are discussed can make these events seem murky. So they make these events seem, worse than what they are. It says, yet the basic economic principles that will clarify what is happening may remain unknown to most of the public and little understood by many in the media, right? You see how them words that we just broke down? So now the sentence is clear and we understand what the sentence is actually saying. He's saying that these people make it seem worse than what it is, right? It says, these basic principles of economic apply around the world and have hold on, let me read that. I'm reading too fast. It say, these basic principles of economics apply around the world and have applied over thousands of years of recorded history. It say, they apply in many very different kinds of economies, capitalist, socialist, so I'm saying that so wrong. Socialist, why that? Socialist, not socialist. Socialist, um, fetal, I don't know that word. I never heard that word. Feudal. According to resembling or denoting the system of feudalism. What is feudal? What is feudal in simple words? Feudalism was a system in which people were given land and protection by people of higher rank. What the fuck? It say, they apply in many very different kinds of economies, capitalist, socialist, feudal, or whatever, and among a wide variety of peoples, cultures, and governments. So basically, he's saying like all these, he's basically saying economics apply to all of these things I just named. It's a policies which led to rising price levels under Alexander the Great have led to rising price levels in America. Thousands of years later, rent control laws have led to a very similar set of consequences in Hong Kong, Stockholm, Melbourne, and New York. It's so have similar agriculture policies in India and in the European Union countries. So he's saying Alexander the Great, I gotta study him. I've heard of him. But he's saying Alexander the Great led to these high price levels, right? Because of him, you know, what he did affected what we are going through as far as price levels, right? And I'm gonna go back to this. Even it says these basic economic principles apply all around the world and have for thousands of years. So if these economics principles have been used for thousands of years, you think they're gonna stop using them if it's working, right? So it says, I'm gonna reread it again. It says policies which led to rising price levels under Alexander the Great have led to rising price levels in America. So Alexander the Great, I better go study him and understand why he did what he did, cause he's the reason why shit is expensive. This is getting good. We only on the second page. So the chapter is called Basic Economics for people that's just now getting in here. We're reading chapter 1 of Basic Economics. What is economics? It said we can begin the process of understanding economics by first being clear as to what economics means, right? It said to know what economics is, we must first know what an economy is. Bingo. Let me check this out. I love this book too. Like, hold on, I'm gonna show y'all. Like, I don't know. I think it's just this part. I feel like I'm in college. People don't think I'm in school, but I'm in school every day. This is 7 days a week. You know how, like a real university, they get weekends off. I don't get no weekends off. I'm in school every day learning about economics, all of this, right? So it say, to know what economics is, we must first know what an economy is. So if we want to know what economics is, we must first know what an economy is. If we want to know what economics is, we must first know what an economy is. It say perhaps most of us think of an economy as a system for the production and the distribution of the goods and services we use in everyday life. That is true as far as it goes, but it does not go far enough. It say the Garden of Eden was a system for the production and the distribution of goods and services, but it was not an economy. That makes sense. Let me underline that. And I'm gonna show y'all what I underline. I'm gonna read it. So I underline, so it says the Garden of Eden was not a system for the production and distribution. No, not was not a system. It says the Garden of Eden was a system for the production and distribution of goods and services, but it was not an economy. Remember he said it said but it does not go as far enough. It says but it was not an economy because everything was available in unlimited abundance. It say without scarcity, there is no need to economize, and therefore no economies. No, that's not what it said. It says without scarcity, there is no need to economize, and therefore no economics. A, dis- a distinguished British economist named Leon Robbins gave a classic definition of economics. This is what the British guy said. He said economics is the study of the use of scarce resources. We have alternative uses. I'm gonna go over this too so y'all can understand. Cause this is what the British guy said. I'm gonna read it again. He said economics is the study of the use of scarce resources which have alternative uses. Economics is the study of the use of scarce resources. Okay, so he's basically saying they're studying the use of um so if y'all know what so if y'all don't know what scarcity is something that you know that we think is limited. It's a limited resources, so we gotta hurry up and get it. So what they do is they study the use of scarce resources. So y'all can think of scarce resources as like cars, houses, clothes, uh, money, just everything we chase that we think is a limited resource of. Just think of everything that these people chase in this world that we think is limited, right? So that's what economics is. Economics is the study of scarce resources, which has alternative uses. That makes sense. So that's what economics is. It's the study of scarce resources. They study the scarce resources, uh, which have alternative uses. But I'm gonna reread this again because we need to understand what he's saying right here. This is good. So economics is the study of the use of scarce resources, right? That's what economics is. It say to know what economics is, we must first know what an economy is. Right? To know what economics is. We know what economics is, right? We know that now. We already know what economics is. Economics is the study of the use of scarce resources. But it says to know what economics is, we must first know what an economy is. Perhaps most of us think of an economy as a system. Most of us think of an economy as a system for production and distribution, right? Goods and services. He say we use in everyday life. He said that is true as far as it goes, but it does not go far enough. He say the Garden of Eden was a system for the production and distribution of goods and services, but it was not an economy. He said because everything was available in an unlimited abundance. It say without scarcity, there is no need to economize. Damn. Because listen to what he said. He said without scarcity, there is no need to economize. And the British guy said economics is the study of the use of scarcity resources. Damn. And it says without scarcity, there's no economy. There's no economics. Economics. Without scarcity, there's no economics. Damn. I damn near gotta sit on that real quick. Economics is the study of scarce resources, and without scarcity, there's no economize. Without scarcity, there's no need to economize. So, economics is the study of scarce resources. Without scarcity, there's no need to economize because economics is the study of scarce resources. Without scarcity, there's no need to economize. So now if people ask you, what is economics? So now you know. You will tell them quickly, economics is the study of the use of scarce resources. So we could type it in Google and see what they trying to say. What is economic? Oh shit. If y'all don't believe what I'm reading, shit, y'all can go ask Google. Cause Google say the same shit. Damn, so we know what economics is. right? We know what it is. So if your teacher asks you, or if you want to teach the class and ask them, class, what is economics? Class will say, economics is the study of the use of scarce resources. And say, without scarcity, there's no need to economize and therefore no economy. And say, a distinguished, I just read that. Okay, we know what economics is now, y'all. Let's clap it up. Like, we should feel good about that because now it feels like we're a part of we're a part of the world a little bit. We know the world a little bit. We know how it, it operates. So now, this is what it is. It says economics. I'm reading right here. It say economics is the study of the use of scarce resources which have alternative uses. It say without scarcity there is no need to economize and therefore no economics. Y'all know what economics is now, right? Y'all know what it is. Y'all can write it down. That's crazy. That's simple. That's very simple. We know what economics is now. All right, so now we're about to speak about scarcity. Y'all like, what is scarcity? Like, what does scarcity mean? If you think about it, we move with scarcity. I was gonna, not even was. I came out with a clothing brand pertaining scarcity. Cause it's like we walk around with a scarcity mindset. We always think we lack something, we inadequate of things, right? So I just had to say that. Scarcity. Now we're talking about scarcity. What is scarcity, y'all might ask? But let me quiz y'all real quick. What is economics? What is economics, y'all? What is economics? What is economics? We just read it. Economics is the study of the use of scarce resources. So some of y'all might be like, what is scarce resources? Right, we about to read what scarcity is. Type in, make sure y'all liking it. You feel me? Let's get it up there. Now we know what economics is. And we know without scarcity, there's no need to economize and therefore no economics. No, I keep reading that wrong. Economics and economy, that word gets me confused. It don't get me confused, but the spelling. It says, without scarcity, there is no need to economize and therefore no economies, right? It say economies, no, it says economics is the study of the use of scarce resources which have alternative uses. So we're about to read what scarcity is. It says, what does scarce mean? So y'all probably like, what does scarce mean? Like, what is scarce resources? Like, if economics is the study of the use of scarce resources, what is scarce resources, right? It say, what does scarce mean? It means that what everybody wants adds up to more than there is. It say this may seem like a simple thing, but its implications are often grossly misunderstood. It say even by highly educated people. It say, for example, a future article in the New York Times laid out the economic woes and worries of middle class Americans. This is the woes of middle class Americans. It said one of the most affluent groups of human beings ever to inhabit this planet. Affluent means wealthy, right? It say although this story included a picture of a middle class American family in their own swimming pool. It say the main headline read the American middle just getting by. Other headings in the article included wishes deferred and plans human goals that remain just out of sight, dog savings, and some luxuries. So that we know what scarcity is. I'm gonna read it again. Scarcity is this. It means that what everybody wants adds up to more than there is. Ooh. Mmm. Damn. That went on my head when I first read it, but I had to go back. Cause shit, that's fact. That's what it is. That's what it would do. Cause when everybody wanted, We think it's a limited resource. And we like, damn, bro, I gotta hurry up and get it before it run out. That's like when some new shoes come out, you gotta be the first one in line. If you don't, you're gonna run out. That's what causes destruction, killing, all these things, right? So we know what scarcity means, and we know what economics is. Economics is the study of the use of scarce resources. What does scarce mean? It means that what everybody wants adds up to more than what it is. So we know what that means. It's in short, middle class Americans desire exceed, wait, in short, middle class Americans' desires exceed what they can comfortably afford, even though what they already have would be considered unbelievable prosperity by people in many other countries around the world. Or even by earlier generations of Americans. Yet both they and the reporter regarded them as just getting by, right? It's a And a Harvard sociologist was quoted as saying how budget constrained these people really are. But it's not something as man-made as a budget which constrains them. Reality constrains them. There has never been enough to satisfy everyone completely. That is the real constraint. That is what scarcity means. We're about to read that again so we can really understand what Thomas is saying, right? We got to understand what he's saying. Because what's the whole point of reading? To become competent, to understand what the author is trying to give to his reader. So we can walk away knowing what economics mean, what scarcity mean, and what scarcity results are, right? So make sure y'all tapping in, man. Because they not teaching this in school. I don't see nobody else teaching this and on YouTube, you feel me? Like, learning economics is like understanding your mind. You got to know how it functions. And if you don't understand how it functions, it's gonna go on autopilot, meaning like it's gonna do what it's gonna do, and the results is gonna be the results. You feel me? So we gotta learn economics and understand what economics is, what scarcity is, what supply and demand is, what price control is. We need to understand these things, right? It's imperative that we do, because if we live in this world and we don't know how to operate, it's like, I don't even know what to say after that, but it's like, if you got your own body and you don't know how your mind operate, then it's like, you feel me? We doing something wrong. Our energy is in the wrong vicinity. Our energy needs to be in information that benefits us and that helps us understand how things operate. You feel me? A lot of us scroll on social media. A lot of us do. I even do it. But I know my limit, meaning that I know when to stop doing what I need to do, because it can take up your time. And when I'm scrolling sometime, I just think to myself and be like, I could be using this time to read right now. I could be using this time to study right now. Like, social media is like, if it's not making you no money, I feel that we don't need to be on it. All it is people posting their life, and some people get sad because they not where that person is at, or some people get sad because they don't got what this person got, or some people are sad because they got this car or this house. Social media would do that to you. That's why, like, I posted a minute ago that comparison is the thief of joy. So watch what you compare. You feel me? So let's get into it. So we're gonna reread this again. In short, middle class Americans desire exceed. No, I'm gonna reread this. Damn. In short, middle class Americans' desires exceed what they can comfortably afford. So he's saying, like, these middle class people their desires exceed. So some of us might not know what exceed mean. I know what it mean. I'm laughing because y'all probably thinking this nigga don't know what exceed mean. I know what exceed. I know what it mean. Calm down, y'all. I know what it mean. Because I know when I'm gone out of this world, my kids and my kids' kids is going to be reading these books. And they're gonna read these books and be like, "Thank you, Uncle, for leaving these books behind." It says middle class Americans' desires go beyond what they can comfortably afford. Meaning like their desires that they have, they can't afford it, right? It says even though what they already have would be considered unbelievable, prosperous prosperous by people in many other countries around the world, or even by earlier generations of Americans. It said, yet both they and the reporter regarded them as just getting by. And a Harvard sociologist was quoted as saying how budget constrained these people really are. That's what the sociologist said. He's saying that these middle class people, you know, they're they're budget constrained. But Thomas Sowell said, but it is not something as man made as a budget which constrains them. He said that's not what constrains them. It says reality constrains them, right? So it's not the budget that constrains these middle class people or these poor class people, right? It's reality that constrains them. Y'all probably like, how? What do you mean by reality constraining them? So if y'all don't know what constraint mean, y'all gonna know what constraint mean in about 10 seconds. Constraint. What does it mean to constrain something? To restrict it, right?
Constraint.
To restrict, you can't. When you restrict somebody from doing something, you can't do nothing, right? When you're in handcuffs, you constrain. You can't move your hands, right? But it says reality constrains them. Hey, we learning today. So we know what economics is, and we know what scarcity is, right? So when we go to school tomorrow, we can say, "Hey, teacher, I know what economics is and scarcity is," right? They're gonna be like, "What is economics?" Economics is the study of scarcity resources. What is scarcity? Scarcity is, everybody wants something that's more than what is. Period. Point blank. Simple. We don't gotta make it confusing. We ain't gotta add no long sentence. I learned in these books that simple is better. We be getting simple answers thinking the answer gotta be longer than what it is, but our mind is trained like that. But we definitely gotta change that because the simplest things matter most. The big things, we think the big things matter most because it's seen, but that's not the case. Simple is way better. But it says reality constrains them. It says there has never been enough to satisfy everyone completely. It said that is the real constraint. So the real constraint is there has never been enough to satisfy everyone completely. This is what scarcity means. It says, so that's what scarcity means, right? It says the New York Times reported that one of these middle class families got in over their heads in credit card spending, but then got their finances in order. It say, but if we make a wrong move, Fraser said the pressure we had from the bills will come back, and that is painful. To say to all these people from academy and journalism, as well as the middle class people themselves, it apparently seemed strange somehow that there should be such a thing as scarcity and that this should imply a need for both productive efforts on their part and personal responsibility in their spending the resulting income. It's a yet nothing has been more persuasive in the history of the human race than scarcity and all the requirements for economizing that go with scarcity. It's a regardless of our policies, practices, or institutions, whether they are wise or unwise, noble or ignoble. It said there is simply not enough to go around to satisfy all our desires to the fullest. That don't mean you give up though on your desires. Just because it said there is simply not enough, that don't mean you give up. It say human needs are inherent in these circumstances, whether we have capitalist, socialist, feudal, or other kind of economy. These various kinds of economies are just different institutionally ways of making trade-offs that are inescapable in any other economy. We learning economics today, y'all. It's 8:26. All right, I'm gonna read to 8:45. I be having to crack my neck, bro, cause my neck like this the whole time. Cause I'm reading to y'all. I'm really y'all teacher, bro. It's like, no, let me stop. I'm really y'all teacher for real. Say I'm not y'all teacher. What's good with it? How you doing? How you doing? What's good with it, Arya? Arya, I ain't gonna lie, you missed some good shit. Some good stuff. Let me say stuff. Let me get stuff. You missing some. Hey, look, this the new book we reading. That's good. You doing good. Hold up. We learning about economics. Oh shit. But it's all good. If you want, you can rewatch it. You know, we learning about economics. But it's all good. We just started. We on the 3rd page. So you really ain't missed like too much. But there's some good stuff already. Some good stuff, good stuff. Learning about the economics, boy. Economics is key, y'all. All right. So now we talking about. So we talked about what is economics. So we're gonna go over it again, so we can refresh and let y'all know what economics is. So economics is the study of the use of scarce resources. Some of y'all might be like, what is scarce resources? It means that what everybody wants add up to more than what it is, right? That's what scarcity is. It's a to know what economics is, we must first know what an economy is. We must first know what an economy is. Make sure y'all liking the lives. I see 3 people in here and I don't see not one like. It's all gonna get to y'all though when this information that I'm reading out of these books is gonna get to y'all. So look, it's to know what economics is, we must first know what the economy is. It's without scarcity, there is no need to economize. I fell asleep last time I was on your live. Reading is boring. Reading is boring. It is. I don't blame you. That's why I'll be closing my book after like 20 minutes, bro, cause like this shit it be boring, but it's information, it's informative. I was about to say information is. It's informative. Good information is boring. Bad information is entertaining. Don't let that go over your head. Remember that. Always remember that. Good information is boring. Bad information is entertaining. Cause we quick to go scroll on some TikTok or some Instagram. We quick to go do that, but it's not informative to us. It's just it's feeding a desire that we unconsciously have, right? Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It definitely is. Like, it do be boring, but I do this every day because it's informative, and it's good for my mind, and it's good for me financially and personally, cause majority of the books that I have are pertaining finances and personal development, personal development. But I feel like the personal development books are really like they like this. They on point. You feel me? But that's Arya. That's why I entertain a little bit, and I say things. That's why I say things that are I entertain a little bit on my life, and I say things that you can use in your personal life. I can inspire you a little bit. So if you don't, understand the reading, of course, you get some type of entertainment. Because I remember I said bad information is entertaining and good information is boring. So I gotta mix it up. You feel me? I gotta throw a little icing on the cake. Cause I already know. She said I fell asleep. I'm crying. She said I fell asleep on your lie. Bruh, that is hilarious. That's funny. Yeah, I don't blame you though. I feel you. I 100% feel you. Hold up. Not in a bad way. Uh, no, I know. I know. I'm already knowing it's not in a bad way. I just know how it is when reading. She said, I like when you stream. It makes my day. I'm like I'm cheesing so hard I can't even say it. Right? I appreciate that, cause that just go to show that I'm doing something with my voice. You feel me? Cause I definitely feel and know that like I have a voice that needs to be heard, and I'm standing on that. Like everything I gotta say, is to only encourage you and to inspire you and to inform you. Cause I was once in in a pair of shoes where I didn't understand shit, where I didn't know shit, where shit was confusing. I was probably sad one day, happy the next day. You feel me? It just, I don't know. I appreciate you though. That's why I'm gonna keep going. Like I'm not stopping. You feel me? Like I tell myself, I'm gonna inspire like millions of people for real. But I gotta show up every day. Meaning like I gotta keep using my voice. I gotta be heard. Even if I only get one viewer, I'm still doing what I love to do. Hold up. So we know what scarcity is and we know what the economy is. Not economy, we know what economics is. Y'all might see me in a movie one day. If I ever be in a movie, I wanna I definitely want it to be like a high school role. Like I see myself as a high school, whether that's on a movie or a TV show. I'd rather be in a TV show because it's more series, more episodes. I mean, I can definitely see myself in a high school TV series or like what else? I can change my character either way. You want a character I can give, because I'm a Gemini. You feel me? So I can give you 50,000 different personalities in one body. You feel me? I'm like that. It's in me, not on me. There's a difference. It's in me. You can't see it because it's in me. You feel me? So know that. Know that. Don't forget that. Right? Understand that. Don't never settle, because when you settle, you know, settling is just, it goes to show that, same, I'm a Gemini. You on what? Why did I know this? Why did I not know this? Arya, what the hell? You didn't tell me this? I had a feeling though you was a Gemini. Something told me, but I don't know why I didn't ask. Something told me you was a Gemini. Arya. How old are you again? Arya. Arya, what the hell? You didn't tell me this? You didn't tell me you was a Gemini? When's your birthday? Wait, what do you mean now? Y'all, Arya, the 12th. That's crazy. That's crazy. 5 days before me. Literally 5 days. No, not. Oh, June 11th. Oh shit, you got that master number. Okay. June 11th, you a real Gemini. You not no May Gemini, you a June Gemini. I'm June 17th. Geminis are the best. I love every Gemini I encounter, bro. Like, cause they understand. Like, Geminis understand Geminis. Nobody understands us. They think we crazy. They think we two-faced. I'm gonna show you my Gemini tattoo. It's tough. I ain't gonna lie. Hold up. Let me flip my camera. You know how they call us two-faced. So like, it's the cry now, laugh later faces. That one's laughing. That one's. See. That's my Gemini faces. That's crazy though. Arya, Gemini, y'all. That's crazy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. It look cool, but that shit hurt though. Hold up. Hold up. All right, let's get it. Let's get back to it. So now we're reading about productivity, right? Productivity. This is what we about to read next. Productivity. We read about scarcity. We read about what is economics. So we know economics is the study of scarce resources. We know that scarcity means what it says scarcity. This is what scarcity means. It means that what everybody wants adds up to more than there is. So that's why people fight for like products and services, because we think it's not enough. And we think because everybody wants all of it, there's not going to be enough. That's why, like I said earlier, like when shoes come out, when Jordans come out, a lot of people fight over it because they think it's a limited resource of it. That's what scarcity means. A limited resources of things, right? So we fight. And so when we move with scarcity, like chaos happens. Just think scarcity equals chaos. Remember that. So when you go to school tomorrow or whenever you go to school, you can walk in and tell your teacher, "Hey, Miss and Miss, I know what economics is. I know what scarcity is." She's gonna be like, "Oh, what is it?" And then you're gonna tell them, "Economics is the study of scarce resources." And then she's gonna be like, "Okay, what does scarcity mean?" Scarcity means that what everybody wants adds up to more than there is. And she's gonna be proud of you. You might have taught her something new, right? So productivity, productivity. About to read that. It's a economics is not just about dealing with the existing output of goods and services as consumers. It is also and more fundamentally about producing that output from scarce resources in the first place, turning inputs into outputs. I gotta reread that because I did not understand that. It's a economics is not just about dealing with existing output of goods and services as consumers. It is also and more fundamentally about producing that output from scarce resources in the first place. Okay, so basically what he's saying is productivity is not just about output of goods and services. Output meaning things that's already out, that's already in motion. He said it's about producing that output from a scarce resource, right? It says turning inputs into outputs. In other words, this is what productivity means. It says economics studies the consequences of decisions that are made about the use of land, labor, capital, and other resources that go into producing the volume of output which determines a country's standard of living. I'm gonna read that again so y'all can understand. When y'all don't understand, I'm gonna make sure y'all understand. I'm gonna break it down in so many ways that you can understand it, right? That's the whole objective of reading, so you can understand. 27957, 27957, 27957, 27950. It says economics studies the consequences of decisions that are made about the use of land, labor, capital, and other resources that go into producing the volume of output which determines a country's standard of living. Let me underline that because that's important. Economics studies the consequences of decisions. That's the first thing we need to know. So economics studies the consequences of decisions that are made about the use of land, labor, capital, and other resources that go into producing the volume of output which determines a country's standard of living. It says those decisions and their consequences can be more important than the resources themselves. So he basically said the decisions that they make and the consequences that come after the decision can be way more important than the resources, if that makes sense. So that's saying say like say you got some food, right? And the food is the resource, but your decision and the decision no, let me say this. Let me start over. Say you got some food, right? And the food is a resource. You know what a resource is? It's when a resource is something that you can use or do with or whatever. So the resource is the food. But outside of the food is the decision and the consequence of eating that food. He's saying that the decision and the consequence is way more important than the resource. If that makes sense. Right? He said those decisions and their consequences can be more important than the resources themselves. For there are poor countries with rich natural resources and countries like Japan and Switzerland with relatively few natural resources but high standards of living, right? It said the values of natural resources per capita and I don't know these countries' names. I'm gonna say this one because I don't know the other one. It's a the values of natural resources per capita in Venezuela are several times what they are in Japan and Switzerland. But real income per capita in Japan and Switzerland is more than double that of Venezuela and several times of um, Switzerland, right? So always remember that it's not about the resources; it's about the decision and the consequences of that, right? The resources is what matters. It's a not it's a not only scarcity but also alternative uses are at the heart of economics. That's important. It says not only scarcity but also alternative uses are at the heart of economics. So what is alternative uses, you might say? What does he mean by that? It says if each resource had only one use, meaning if that food you ate only has one use, which no, I can't use food because of course it has one. I'm gonna let me find something. So, all right, I'm gonna use some shoes. So it says if each resource had only one use, economics would be much simpler. So that's like saying if you have a pair of shoes and you can only wear your shoes one time, economics will be much simpler. But since you can use your shoes more than one time, then that is that, right? Y'all see where I was trying to go though. It says if each resource had only one use, economics will be much simpler. But resources don't have one use. You can use resources more than one time. So that's why he's saying it's not simpler because you can use the resources more than one time. Let's say, but water can be used to produce ice or steam by itself or innumerably mixtures and compounds in combination with other things. Similarly, from it says from petroleum petroleum comes not only gasoline and heating oil, but also Vaseline. What the hell? What the hell? I didn't know that. I don't even know what petroleum is. Petroleum comes not only gasoline and heating oil, but also Vaseline. 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 Let me look at these ingredients. What are the ingredients at? Y'all better. We're gonna figure that out right there. It says iron ore can be used to produce steel products ranging from paper clips to automobiles to the frameworks of skyscrapers. It says how much of each resource should be allocated to each of its many uses. It says every economy has to answer that question, right? This is the economy has to answer this question. It says how much of each resource should be allocated to each of its many uses. It says and each one does in one way or another, effectively or ineffectively. Doing so effectively is what economics is about. It said different kinds of economies are essentially different ways of making decisions about the allocation of scarce resources. Y'all gotta understand that scarce means, something that everybody wants, but it adds up to more than what is out already. It says during the days of the Soviet Union, for example, that countries industrials use more electricity than the industrials use. Even though Soviet industries produce a smaller amount of output than American industrials produce, such inefficiency in turning inputs into outputs translated into a lower standard of living. In a country richly endowed, with natural resources perhaps more richly endowed than any other country in the world. Russia is, for example, one of the few industrial nations that produce more oil than it consumes. That's crazy. I didn't know that. So why? So if y'all don't know, we don't. No, let me not speak about that because I'm not sure, but I heard about it, so let me not. But it says Russia is one of the few industrial nations that produces more oil than it consumes. So we produce oil in America, but we don't we produce oil in America, but we rather get it outside of America because it's cheaper, like in Saudi Arabia, right? It says, but an abundance of resources does not automatically create an abundance of goods. Ooh, that's something to remember. It's a efficiency in production, the rate at which inputs are turned into outputs. It's not just some technically that economists talk about. It affects the standard of living of whole societies. So some of us might be wondering, like, why is prices the prices they are? A lot of people like, why is gas prices so high? They don't know. You feel me? Because they don't know how the economy works. They don't know price demand. They don't know none of that, right? So they're gonna continue to ask the same question. It's a It affects the standard of living of whole societies. When visualizing this process, it helps to think about the real things, the iron, the palladium, wood, and other inputs that go into the production process, and the furniture, food, and automobiles that come out the other end. It says, rather than think of economic decisions as being simply decisions about money, although the word economics suggests money to some people. So when you hear economics, some people just might instantly think of money. But Thomas Sowell is not saying it. Thomas Sowell is saying different. You feel me? That's facts. Cause when I heard economics, I just thought of money, right? It said, although the word economics suggests money to some people, for a society as a whole, money is just an artificial device to get things done. Wow. Y'all hear how he just put that? He put that in a way that it was like, it's just something to be used. But it literally is. But we make money so valuable that when we don't have it, we feel inadequate. We feel that we don't have enough when we don't have money. Because we put so much value behind it. I read in the book that you make things with it. It's only important if you make it important. It only matters if you make it matter. So that goes to say, like, money is only important if you make it important, right? Money is only valuable if you make it valuable. So it's the meaning that you put behind what is happening. You feel me? So you gotta understand that. We put meaning behind things. We have the will to put meaning behind things. If we don't put no meaning behind it, it has no meaning to us. Like somebody can call you some type of name. It can mean something to you if you let it mean something to you. But if you're the type of person that don't let things mean something to you that's not beneficial to you, then you know. It says otherwise the government can make all no, it says otherwise the government could make us all rich by simply printing more money. It is not money, but the volume of goods and services which determines whether a country is poverty stricken or prosperous. Let's read that. It say it is not money, but the volume of goods and services which determines whether a country is poverty stricken or prosperous. So it's not the money. My throat is so fucking dry right now, bro. All right, that's it for me today. I almost been on here for an hour. And it's time for me to get off. We got a long way to go in this book, though. For the ones that tapped on, like y'all know, I show my dearest gratitude for y'all because, all I want to do is help, you know, and to get things done. You feel me? Because like I said, if we don't have no knowledge, then we're gonna continue to get the same results that we've been seeing. You know, a lot of people don't like the present moment for what it is right now. You know, they try to escape the present moment every day, but like this is where everything happens. You feel me? Our focus is always elsewhere, but like it's important that we stay where we are. You feel me? Make the present pleasant. We're always trying to get out. So we gotta remember that. Make the present pleasant, man. And if you don't know something, you gotta go figure it out. But I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side. I'm over here.